빌드에서 밀려도 이기는 김민철인데 안정적인 빌드를 갖고 비슷하게 출발하거나 이기는 빌드를 갖고 무조건 이기고 이런 마음가짐을 한 다음에 신동원하고 할 때만 조금 잘하자. 실제까지 갈 수 있습니다, 충분히.
네, 16강 뭐 제가 계속 비슷하게 물고 물리는데 누군가는 이 순환골에 끊어야 돼요. 그래 가요 8강.
네, 어설픈 예측이지만 부드러운 선택은 이제 안 할 것 같아요. 계속 두드러놨는데 12 앞마당 내지는 13풀, 12풀 그 두 가지 선택이 좀 나올 것 같아요.
그래서 그걸 노려가지고 또 12들은 앞마당을 또 할 수도 있는 것이기 때문에 또 이제 더 생각해갖고 고풀할 수도 있죠.
네. 네, 그리고 정말 극단적인 작전 지시가 나올 수도 있고요. 보도록 하겠습니다.
Aw, Kit's given up. That's alright, it's only ZVZs left. Good night, Kit.
8강 플레이어가 되고요. 그러면 바로 8강 개주 추첨 결승까지 가는 4단 1타는 개주 추첨하고 또 스타리그 관련해서 중요 고지사항을 여러분께 화면으로 준비를 했고 그거를 여러분께 보여드리도록 하겠습니다. 물론 경기는 진짜 11시로 향해 가고 있습니다만 계속 돌 수도 있습니다. 신대근 선수만 들어오면 경기 이제 갈 수 있도록 하죠.
And we do the commentator spiel, where they all talk about how awesome their suits look, and then we get to go into the game.
타이밍에 1경기 끝, 2경기 끝 그냥 갔어요.
네, 그리고 비조 역시 이제 마찬가지로 변현재 선수가 좋은 모습 보여줬는데 일단 한 번의 기회는 김민철 선수가 놓쳤습니다만 지금 두 번째 기회를 잡았어요.
그럼요. 자, 경기 준비됐습니다. 가겠습니다. 보죠.
Alright, here we go. Into the game. If Soulkey wins it, he will advance to the round of 8. Soulkey, please put us out of our misery and win the game. Hyvaa, please stop cock-blocking Soulkey and lose the game. Alright, so here we go on electric circuits. And spawning as the green Zerg at the top left will be Soulkey from Stars. And in the bottom right, as the red Zerg, we will have Hyvaa. Cool. Alright, oop, gotta get rid of my thingamajig. So, it looks like both players are actually scouting towards the bottom left. Interesting. In these positions, once again, Soulkey is the one who's doing the quote-unquote standard scouting towards the closer natural, and Hyvaa is doing the non-standard scouting, which is exactly what Hydra did to Soulkey last game. I don't know what's up with that. I don't know what's up with these guys in like scouting non-standard against Soulkey. It's kinda weird. Maybe Soulkey has like some weird mental disruption thing that like messes up Zerg players' scouting patterns or something. 12. And then it's green. So, is Hyvaa going to 9-pull again? Of course, in the last round of games he did 9-pull his way to victory, but no, it looks like he has made an Overlord this time. Perhaps a new concept to him, making an Overlord before a spawning pool. I hope he doesn't play Terran in StarCraft 2, where you have to make a D before barracks, because he would be completely lost. Anyway, it is going to be a 12 pool from Soulkey here. And a 12 hatch from Hyvaa. Hyvaa going from one end of the spectrum to the other, going from 9-pull, which is the most aggressive build in ZVZ, I guess short of a 4-pull, straight into 12 hatch, which is the most economic build in ZVZ. And I mean, it's going to be cross map, and he's going to be facing a 12-pull expand, so basically Hyvaa has just taken a build order advantage against Soulkey here. And you know what? I wonder if he's playing some mind games. I wonder if he's playing a mind games because he 9-pooled both games so far, so maybe Soulkey is like, well, this guy keeps 9-pooling, you know, I'll 12-pool expand, it's pretty safe, I'm not going to take a risk in 12-hatch. Like, there's basically no way that he's going to 12-hatch against Hyvaa. I mean, he hasn't 12-hatched anyway so far, but especially seeing that Hyvaa keeps 9-pooling, you just be like, yep, no 12-hatch for me. So, instead, Hyvaa's now going to go for a 12-hatch, and I think this is actually a pretty smart strategy. My only curiosity is that, like, the only reason this metagame is even coming into play is because they played a round of games already and we're into the second loop of tiebreakers. Although, having said that, I didn't watch their initial games in the group, so I don't actually know what strategies they used in their original games. It wasn't entirely ZVZ group. Anyway, looks like some links for both players are coming out here. Of course, the links for Soulkey making their way straight across the map, but it doesn't matter because 12-pool against 12-hatch, your links aren't nearly out fast enough to do any sort of damage. So he's going to come in here, he's going to see the lings. I think he might have been close enough to even see the creep of the hatchery. It's very important that he sees the hatchery, but I guess given how these things are defending, he probably knows that there's a hatchery there. I'm pretty sure he knows at this point that there is in fact an expansion already up. And he can actually, might even be able to tell from the creep spread there that the hatchery went up for his, which is quite important. So he now knows it is 12-hatch against 12-pool. He knows that he's unfortunately suffered from a build order disadvantage. And is he going to get a ling into the base? Looks like one ling surviving with just 2 HP, making its way to the main base. It's going to see a lair. Wow, very nice ling sneak by. I don't want to say run by because it's only like one Zergling. I don't know. The single ling run by into the base. Looks like Spire on the way now for Hyvaa. And a creep colony at the front actually interestingly enough, from Soulkey. It looks like he's actually thinking about poking in here with these lings. He's got to be a little bit careful. He does have an inferior ling count. So he's actually going to move back. Meanwhile, what's he actually done? He's actually droning up behind this. That's why he's getting Sun Colony. I think he was poking in the lings, just keeping the pressure on, pretending like he might be going for some extra aggression, kind of forcing Hyvaa to make more Zerglings, but instead he's actually just droning up and trying to take an economic advantage, basically trying to catch up a little bit from his build order disadvantage. And his Spire is actually not that far behind, so he will have Mutas and Scourge in time to deal with Hyvaa's Mutas and Scourge. So I think he's actually not in that bad of a position, but he is 5 supply behind right now, 21 to 26, which is obviously not ideal. His second gas looks like it's also a little bit later. Interestingly, he is mining from his natural with a few drones, whereas Hyvaa's not actually mining any minerals from his natural. I'm actually not sure what his saturation looks like in the main base, but ideally you do just want 1 drone per patch. It's interesting because, you know, I actually had we had this discussion the other day during the Pro League cast where, you know, in StarCraft 2, you instead of transferring a bunch of workers to a new expansion, you just rally all your you know, command centers or nexuses or whatever to that new expansion, and you send all the newly created workers there. And I was wondering why that is. And actually, oh, hold that thought though. It looks like 1 drone getting sniped. Very nice move by Soulkey. But yeah, basically, if you have one drone per patch on 2 bases, mines faster than 2 drones per patch on 1 base. Whereas in StarCraft 2, it's exactly the same. But in Brood War, because the AI is dumb, 2 drones per patch on 1 base is less efficient. So yeah, that's basically why. Anyway, it's funny because I basically tried to say that day and I just couldn't figure out how to put it in words. I just kept thinking about it and thinking about it, and I think that's more or less what I'm trying to say. Anyways, back to the game. Mutalisks are out for Hyvaa. Sorry, for Soulkey rather. Looks like some Scourge though. Moving into his base, gonna try and snipe a Muta as it pops up from the egg, gonna try and deny that with his Muta. Oh! I don't think that actually hit. I'm pretty sure he killed it. Yeah, it looks like the observer showing us that all the Mutas still have full health. So, oh wait, no, I'm sorry, he actually did take a hit. And, oh, it looks like a hit on the other side though as well. Hyvaa's Muta's taking a hit there. Looks like Hyvaa with a very slight food advantage, 41 to 38. But in the meantime, no serious action for either player. And the thing is, the longer this game goes on, the smaller the build order advantage becomes. Like, you know, early on in the game, 12 match against 12 pool is lovely, but, you know, if they wait around for another 3 or 4 minutes or something, it's not really actually going to matter. It's going to be such a small difference that it's more going to come down to their decisions on when to drone, whether to get upgrades, how good their Muta micro is, you know, whether they decide to attack or counter-attack, or the link sneak rounds and whatnot. Anyway, doing the Hyvaa face shot. Yeah, Soulkey's glasses look kind of funky. In a good way, in a good way. Anyway, both players playing really passively. The observers, I think, were just showing us the drone counts there. I wasn't actually paying attention. It's fairly close. But Hyvaa still staying slightly ahead in supply, actually pulling ahead a little bit. 55 now to 48. Soulkey with, looks like a few more Scourges. Nope. About the same, and Hyvaa actually deciding to go for a big attack here. Soulkey, he sees the tail end of it with his Scourge. The Overlord's gonna start getting taken down here. If he gets supply block, that'll be really troublesome for him. But it looks like, here we go, gonna try and use his defender's advantage, gonna try and micro against these Scourges. He's got a lot of Scourge of his own. The Lings on the bottom do get taken out, so it looks like Soulkey defending without an issue here. Hyvaa, I think, messing up a little bit there, not going in altogether, not really committing, but it looks like he does have a nice Muta advantage here, although Soulkey does have a lot of Scourge to help deter those Mutalisks. So it's still kind of a very tense situation. The game bounced on the knife edge, and looks like some nice shots off though from Soulkey. He gets a couple of Scourge hits in as well. Soulkey proving to have some superior control here in this skirmish. But he is having to come back from a supply deficit. As I said, definitely has fewer mutas than his opponent. And oh, looks like nice little move there, sniping 2 Scourge. And Soulkey's doing a very interesting thing where he's just pulling 2 Scourge off at a time and trying to kind of slingshot them into the clump of mutas to get some free muta kills. But Hyvaa decides enough is enough and just moves back to his base. It's like, alright, whatever, you can do your fancy micro stuff, and he's gonna keep pressing his advantage, or pressing it by just not doing anything, I guess. He's up to a 10 supply advantage now, 64 to, well, no, now to 56. Meanwhile, some links sneaking around the side for Soulkey. You're thinking about doing a backstab here. +1 carapace is done for Hyvaa, no upgrade done for Soulkey. That's gonna make a huge difference when the big engagement happens, if Soulkey is not caught up on the upgrades. However, the links sneak around. Oh no, it looks like the links actually go back. Hyvaa has very nice coverage of the minimap. If you look at the minimap right now, there's a lot of red dots all over the place, just making sure he doesn't get, doesn't lose the game stupidly to some big link backstab. In the meantime, both players just massing up Mutalisk. And looks like, oh, +1 now finished as well for Soulkey, so no longer any upgrade advantage. Looks like it was quite close there. The time between, or yeah, Soulkey's upgrade doesn't seem that far behind. So unless Hyvaa gets really lucky and just attacks at a nice timing, I don't think he'll have the upgrade advantage. Anyway, both players playing really passively, and I think part of the reason of this is that neither player has any spores or any real static defenses, so it's very risky if you move out with all your units to get counterattacked and lose the game in a silly fashion. Both players would rather play it very safe and just mass up here. I mean, oh, looks like a couple of Scourge moving in here. See, both players are trying to get small advantages like this, you know, move your Scourge in and try and get lucky and snap a Muta off as it pops out. Do things like that to try and, you know, give yourself the edge when the big engagement happens. Interestingly, well, no, I'm looking at the supply counts, it's still very close, 77 against 80. Even not, I mean, I would at least expect if both players are being this passive, one of them would take a third base or something, you know, get an extra gas to try to do that. But it's neither player is doing anything. Although now Soulkey has decided now is the time. Here we go. Time to move out. A lot of Muta and Scourge going out, but as he's moving out, you know, Hyvaa will have the defender's advantage. But I think, look at this, gonna start picking off some Overlords though. And if Hyvaa gets, and Hyvaa is now actually supply capped, and that's going to be very troublesome for him because he doesn't want to be reproducing during this big engagement. Another Overlord is going to go down here. Meanwhile, Ling's going into the natural. What about the air? Where is the air force of Hyvaa? Hyvaa's actually losing all of his Overlords. He will not be able to reproduce units when this engagement is over. And that could actually be deciding. No, looks like Soulkey decides not to press it. Or he might just be hunting more Overlords or something. Where is he actually going? Looks like, no, he's actually just going to go in. Oh, he's going to find another Overlord here. And wow, very nice job here, picking off a lot of Overlords. But no, looks like Hyvaa moving in with his own Mutalisks. Wow, a huge clump of Mutalisks there, spotted by that one Zergling of Soulkey. But Soulkey has a million Scourge. It's going to be way so hard to micro against all these Scourge. He's got too many Mutalisks to micro, but a lot of Scourge for Hyvaa as well. Who's going to take the engagement? Scourge running through, not even hitting, just tanking damage. And it looks like, oh my god, Hyvaa has just a monstrous Muta advantage. What the hell? Oh my god, Hyvaa just completely wrecked Soulkey's army. Soulkey can't even believe it. And GG's out. Wow, Soulkey. A lot of his Scourge didn't hit. They just sat there like idiots. And Hyvaa is going to force another game here. It will be Hyvaa versus Hydra. If Hyvaa can win it, he will advance to the round of 8. Oh man. And if Hydra wins, we're going to go again. Woohoo!
빌드대로 좀 흘러간 느낌이 있고요. 네,